The last 5 dragons in the world were surrounded by the evil Droon. If the Droon could destroy them, the world would be doomed. In that desperate moment, one dragon cupped the water before her chest, and instantly conjured a dragon gem. The other dragons poured their power into the gem, then entrusted it to the youngest dragon, Sisu. The very next second, the Droon consumed them all, turning them to stone. But Sisu didn't let them down. She unleashed the gem's power and sealed away the Droon. 500 years passed. The dragon gem had been guarded for generations by the Heart tribe. A young girl named Raya was about to become the next chief, taking over from her father as the gem's protector. But during a gathering of the tribes, something went terribly wrong. Namari, from the Fang tribe, pulled out a scroll. It said that after Sisu sealed away the Droon, she'd fallen into a deep sleep somewhere at the end of a river. Namari even gave Raya her Sisu pendant as a gift. Grateful for the gesture, Raya decided to show her the dragon gem. But what Raya never expected was that the moment Namari entered the sacred chamber, she turned on her. She kicked Raya to the ground. Everything she'd done in the scroll, the necklace, it was all a trick to earn Raya's trust and find the gem's location. She fired a signal flare, calling in the Fang warriors. When Raya's father saw the flare, he knew something had gone horribly wrong. The Fang soldiers had already arrived. Just as they were about to seize the gem, her father showed up in time. After a fierce fight, he managed to push them back. But then the other tribes came rushing in too. They all wanted the gem to make their own tribe stronger. Her father tried to convince everyone to stop fighting. Legend had it that 500 years ago, this land was called Comandrat, a paradise where people lived in abundance and harmony, and humans and dragons were the closest of friends. Until one day, the Droon appeared. They spread like a plague, turning everyone they touched to stone. The dragons fought with everything they had, but they were no match for the Droon. It wasn't until Sisu created the dragon gem that the Droon were finally sealed away. Everyone who'd been turned to stone was restored. But the dragons never came back. And after the disaster, instead of coming together, people grew greedy. They fought endlessly over the gem, and Comandra was torn apart. That's why her father hoped the tribes could stop fighting and rebuild Comandra once more. But before he could finish, an arrow came out of nowhere. Her father fell to the ground, wounded. Everyone swarmed in to grab the gem. In the chaos, it shattered. The sealed Droon were unleashed upon the world once again. Her father tried to use a shard to hold them off, but when the others saw the fragments still held magic, they scrambled to grab those too. The Droon were multiplying faster and faster. Her father knew he was badly wounded and wouldn't make it, so he handed his shard to Raya and threw her into the river. He was swallowed by the Droon and turned to stone. Raya was devastated, but she knew that if she could find Sisu, she could bring her father back. 6 years went by. Raya had searched nearly every branch of every river. Only the very last stretch remained. She finally reached it, but the water had dried up completely. All that was left was the skeleton of a sunken ship. Still, Raya decided to give it a try. She laid out the Sisu scroll, set up an altar, and began the summoning ritual. As Raya chanted the incantation, the water around her began flowing in reverse. Droplets rose into the air, then merged together. Sisu, asleep for 500 years, finally awakened. Raya asked her to destroy the Droon and save her father. But the truth was, Sisu was actually the least powerful of all the dragons. The gem was created by her brothers and sisters, she had nothing to do with it. But when she picked up the gem shard, she connected with the magic inside it and inherited her sister's power of glowing light. That meant if they could gather all the pieces, they could banish the Droon once more, bring back Raya's father, bring back everyone who'd been turned to stone. And so they set off on a journey to find the dragon gem shards. When the gem shattered, the 5 tribes each took a piece: Fang, Heart, Spine, Talon, and Tail. The closest was Tail. The place was riddled with deadly traps. One wrong step and you're done. Luckily, Raya was quick on her feet and dodged them with ease. For Sisu, it was even easier. Then a bug landed on Sisu's hand, and the next second, it exploded. They looked up and saw the walls were covered with those things. They made it through a narrow passage into a wide-open chamber, where they found the greedy tail chief had died trapped in his own security system. When Sisu grabbed the shard, she instantly unlocked her sister's shape-shifting ability and transformed into a human girl. But before they could celebrate, Namari showed up with her soldiers. She'd been hunting for the shards too. Raya knocked the exploding bugs off the wall to block Namari's path, and the two of them jumped on Tuk Tuk and made their escape. To shake off Namari's pursuit, Tuk Tuk dove straight into the water. They sailed to Talon, where the tribe had built their entire settlement over the water to stay safe from the Droon. Protected by the sea, this place was thriving. The moment they walked into town, they heard a little girl crying. Raya went over to check, and the second she turned her head, her shard was gone. The little girl kicked Raya down, threw sand in her face, and took off on a monkey. Good thing Tuk Tuk knew a shortcut, or they would have lost her for good. Raya found out the girl was an orphan. The Droon had turned both her parents to stone. To help the girl earn some money, Raya had her and the monkey distract the guards while she snuck into the chief's house. But the old chief had already passed away, and the new chief had taken the shard with her. The chief had lured Sisu outside the city walls. The moment they stepped out, the Droon attacked, but were repelled by the shard's power. The chief tried to force Sisu to hand over her shard, threatening to lock her outside. At the last second, Raya burst through the gate and snatched the chief's shard. The instant Sisu touched it, she unlocked the power of fog, and they escaped under its cover. Next, they headed to Spine. But without the ocean's protection, the entire tribe had been turned to stone. Only one warrior remained. That's when Namari caught up with her army. To buy everyone time to escape, Raya challenged Namari one-on-one and got absolutely pummeled. Sisu saw the whole thing. She transformed back into her true dragon form, blasted the Fong soldiers with a wall of fog, and let out a thunderous roar at Namari. Seeing a real dragon for the first time, Namari froze. Raya and the others seized the moment and escaped back to the boat. Having witnessed a real dragon, the spine warrior offered up the fourth shard. This one unlocked Sisu's power to control water. They set course for Fong. Meanwhile, Namari returned to Fong and reported Sisu's existence to the chief. She wanted to hand over their shard to make things right, but the chief feared that once people were restored, they'd come after Fong for revenge. So she refused. Raya's group arrived at Fong. At Sisu's suggestion, Raya had the little monkey deliver a letter to Namari along with the pendant she'd given Raya all those years ago and asked her to meet the next day. Namari showed up right on time and willingly handed over the last shard. It seemed like they'd finally done it. But then Namari turned on them again. For the future of Fong, she had to follow her chief's orders. Just as everyone braced for a fight, Sisu stepped in. She told Namari that the Drun were born from human distrust. Only by believing in each other could they truly defeat the Drun. Sisu's words hit Namari hard. Her emotions were all over the place. Her fingers slowly tightened on her crossbow. Raya, wound up tight as a spring, moved to stop her and Namari's arrow struck Sisu, sending her plunging into the river. With the last dragon gone, the river began to dry up. The final barrier against the Drun collapsed. Countless Drun surged toward Fong, attacking everyone in sight. By the time Namari made it back, her chief had already been turned to stone. Raya caught up to her. She wanted vengeance for Sisu and she was burning with rage over never being able to bring her father back. The two princesses clashed the moment they met. Within a few rounds, Namari went down. But in the heat of battle, Raya caught sight of her companions helping others selflessly. It snapped her back to reality. She realized she'd been blinded by hatred. And Sisu's death, she bore some of that responsibility too. Once she calmed down, she went outside to help her friends rescue people. But the Drun were blocking the exit. That's when Namari leaped out and used her gem shard to clear a path. Before anyone could say a word, the ground gave way beneath them. They all fell into a pit, completely surrounded by Drun. The shards were growing weaker by the second. Then Raya remembered what Sisu had said. Only by trusting each other and making the gem whole again could they break the cycle of distrust and destroy the Drun. So she proposed giving all the shards to Namari. The others didn't trust Namari. So Raya took the first step. She placed her own shard in Namari's hands and the Drun consumed her, turning her to stone. The others didn't trust Namari. But they trusted Raya. One by one, they handed over their shards and turned to stone alongside her. An opening appeared. Namari was about to run, but she stopped. In the end, she didn't betray their trust. She pieced the dragon gem back together and stood beside Raya as she too turned to stone. The gem's light faded. Then, in one massive burst, it erupted with incredible power, wiping out every last Drun. Every person who'd been turned to stone came back to life. The rivers surged once more. The petrified dragons were revived too. They traced a great pattern across the water's surface, and a column of water shot into the sky. Sisu came back to life. Sisu may not have been the strongest dragon, but her brothers and sisters always believed she was the one who could save the world. In the end, Raya was finally reunited with her father. The two held each other tight. Thanks to Sisu and Raya, trust between people was restored once more.